There's 104 days of quarantinecation, but we still have school in the middle. So the newfound problem of our generation is finding a good way to spend it. Like maybe finding a hobby and reading our Bible, creating cool experiments, discovering newfound cool talents, or giving your budgie a shower. Spending time in prayer, creating arts and crafts, or locating ancient treasure. It's over here! Helping around the house, doing my homework, or camping in the garden. As you can see, there's a whole lot of stuff to do before things normalize. So stick with us, cause Kids Club is gonna do it all. So stick with us, cause Kids Club is gonna do it all. Mom, the Kids Club leaders are back at it again.
guys, welcome back to another week of Kids Club. Super excited to have you with us. Remember, we're doing the miracles that Jesus performed, and this week's lesson carries on from last week where we talked about how Jesus fed thousands and thousands of people with only 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish. If you don't know what story I'm talking about, make sure that you head on over to our Kids Club online YouTube page just to check it out, and then come back to this video so that you know where we're starting here. So after Jesus performed that miraculous sign, the sign that no one could explain, how 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish could feed thousands and thousands of people, the people were all of a sudden, they were so amazed with what Jesus did. And can you blame them? I mean, I would be completely shocked by what Jesus did. But now Jesus could see that the people, they didn't really have a good heart about this, and he could see that they were going to force him, make him be their king. And he knew that the time was not right for him to be king yet, and it was not in the right way that it was going to be done. So Jesus snuck away from the crowd of people, and he told his disciples they must go down to the ocean, they must get on their boats, and they must row across the ocean. And he snuck away. So the disciples, they went down to their boats and they waited for Jesus on the shore, so just before the ocean, and they were waiting for him, but he never came. So they decided, no, they were going to listen to Jesus, and so they got into their boat and they started rowing out into the ocean, or sometimes people call it the lake, which is just a big body of water, lots of water, okay? And so when they were in the middle of this ocean, all of a sudden a storm came up, and the waters were super high and was super wavy, and there was lots of wind, and they were scared. I mean, I would be too. Imagine, just think of how big waves can get if you go to the ocean, if you've ever been. And so they were incredibly scared. And next thing, they look out and they see across the water that Jesus is walking on the water towards them. Can you just imagine? I honestly can't. They were shocked, but they were also scared of this Jesus literally walking on water towards them. And they were even more afraid. And Jesus said to them, "Do not be afraid, for I am here." And then what happened is they let Jesus onto the boat with them. And as soon as Jesus got onto the boat, the wind died down, the ocean became completely flat, and it was super calm all of a sudden. And immediately, the next thing they knew, they had reached their destination. Their boat was right on the other side where they were trying to row to. It was all of a sudden there. And that in itself was a miracle, let alone Jesus actually walking on the water towards them. So what can we learn from this sign of Jesus, this miracle that Jesus performed? Well, we can learn that Jesus is always there for us in times of trouble. Either that's a big thing or a small thing, Jesus is always there, and he tells us to not be afraid because he is always with us. Because when we accepted him into our lives, he is there with us every single day, every single minute of every day. And so we must never be afraid, and we must just turn to him, and we must just trust in Jesus that he will be able to sort everything out for us in the end. Okay? So this week's memory verse comes from Matthew 14, verse 33. And it says, "Then those who were in the boat worshipped Jesus and said, 'Truly, you are the Son of God.'" We're going to head into our craft right now.
Okay.
Cool, so we are making some Play-Doh today. So here's an example, and I've just created a little bit of a rowboat to remind you of today's story with Jesus walking on the water towards the boats. Play-Doh is super easy, so the things that you're going to need for this is just some warm water, not hot water, so not from the boiling kettle. I took this from the warm water tap. You're going to need some normal flour that you normally cook with, and then you're just going to need some very fine salt, so ordinary table salt over here. Okay, we're also going to need just some measurements, alright? So this is 1 cup, this represents 1 cup, and this is 1/4 of a cup, this measurement over here. And then I just have a bowl and a spoon in order to help make the Play-Doh. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take the 1 cup and you're going to put it inside the flour, and you're going to get 1 cup of flour. Okay, it doesn't have to be perfect, so that's about 1 cup. Alright, Then you're going to take the salt and you're going to put in 1/4 of a cup of salt. Alright, and you're going to pour that in. You're going to keep the same measurement because we're going to do 1/4 of a cup of water as well. Alright, and pour that in. Now we're going to start mixing. So I'm going to use my spoon initially. I'm going to use our hands just now. If you want to use your hands right from the start, go ahead. Okay, so you're going to mix it up. Okay, once it starts to get a little bit more mixed, can you see that it's like all in clumps now? So I'm going to add just a tiny little bit of water. Just a splash of water. And then start mixing again. I think I'm going to start using my hands now. So I'm just going to put my spoon somewhere there. Okay, and start just squeezing it all together. Okay, I can feel that it's still quite dry and it's not really coming together. It's not all coming together. That means I need to add a bit more water. We just do it in small bits because you don't want to add too much and then it becomes too wet. If that does happen, don't freak out. It's okay. It's all good. Just because mine's a little bit now too wet, like what's just happened, when I said might happen. But that's okay. So we're just going to mix it to make sure it's all there. And we're just going to add a tiny little bit of flour just to try and dry it out a little bit. So you can just explore, experiment with it, see how it goes, see how it feels. It's all part of the fun making it, getting nice and messy. Okay, keep going. Okay, it's getting much better now. Okay, it's just a little bit sticky, so if it's still a little bit sticky, put in just a little bit more flour. Mix it all together. And there we go. Just keep mixing, get it off your fingers and into the dough. And then you can create a single ball. You can also add, if you have any food coloring at home, you can add it into the dough as well. Just a couple drops, 1 or 2 drops, and it'll change the color of this dough from white to whatever color you want. And it'll make your hands a little bit dirty, but it'll come off after time. Cool. Cool, I hope that you had fun making this Play-Doh with us. You can use this for making the boat like I did or anything else, and you can play with yourself or play with your friends and make lots of dough and make lots of creations out of it. So just a reminder of what this week's memory verse was. It came from Matthew 14 verse 33, and it said, "Then those who were in the boat worshipped Jesus and said, 'Truly, you are the Son of God.'" Super excited to hear you guys saying your memory verses to us and to see your different creations of dough and the different colors that you come up with. Missing you guys lots and hoping that you're staying safe during this time. Can't wait to see you all.